All right, so you guys remember all the big news that I mentioned from yesterday? Well, director Quentin Tarantino said, "That's cute. Hold my beer." Welcome to the newest episode of SDW.
Super Dario World!
It's a me,
Dario.
Woohoo! Let's go!
All right, so before I forget, like I did yesterday, let me give you a quick reminder. You can listen to the podcast anywhere: SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, the iHeartRadio app, anywhere. Check it out as Super Dario World Podcast. And, well, like I did yesterday, a little bit more shameless advertising. Go to my Instagram, at Dario the Show, if you want to see the promotional video I did for the event that we will be having next Friday at Dave & Buster's, Dario the Bachelor. The event's heating up, man. It's getting close. It's getting more and more dramatic. It's getting more intense. It'll be the most dramatic event in history. No, seriously, it should be fun. Check out the video. Let me know what you think. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me there. You can also find me at SuperDario.World on Instagram, or follow my Facebook page at Super Dario World. Now, all right, so getting into the story, because I gotta keep this one a little bit short, but writer Quentin Tarantino, who this past year wrote and directed a little movie called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You may have heard about it. It had a guy named Leo DiCaprio in it. He had a guy named Brad Pitt in it. He had a girl named Margot Robbie in it, plus everybody and their mother. The movie did quite well. It's actually pretty good. It was one of the better movies of last year. I'll just read you the headline. Quentin Tarantino will write and direct all 5 episodes of Bounty Law series. Now, for those of you who don't know, in the movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, well, the movie is about an actor named Rick Dalton and his stuntman Cliff. Anyway, so the reason why this dude's relevant is because in the show, he used to be famous for being part of a TV show called Bounty Law, right? It was a Western show. Supposedly it was a great hit, and he's still popular from it, but his career's kind of going downhill. It's gone downhill since then. Anyway, what it sounds like, or what Tarantino has said specifically, he's not hinting at, he's not saying he wants to do it, he's saying he will do it, is that he will make the 5-episode series based on that show. Now, within the world of the movie, the show ends because Rick Dalton decides to leave to try to become a movie star. That's when that's when his career starts going downhill. So supposedly this would actually be the whole Bounty Law series. So it's tied into that world. However, the story of the series won't be about Rick Dalton. It will be about J.K. Hill, who is the character inside Bounty Law. So it's a TV show about a TV show in a movie. Does that make any sense? Hopefully it does. If not, well, whatever. Anyway, so there's a lot of intrigue behind this. First off, well, we know who's directing it. We know who's writing it. Well, I'll read you a few quotes from Quentin Tarantino, and then I'll get into a little bit more specifics and logistics. But here's a quote directly from Tarantino. "As far as the Bounty Law shows, I want to do that, but it will take me a year and a half. I ended up writing 5 half-hour episodes, so I'll do it. So I'll do them, and I will direct all of them. I got an introduction from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I don't really consider it part of that movie, even though it is. This is not about Rick Dalton playing J.K. Hill. It's about J.K. Hill. Where all this came from was I ended up watching a bunch of Wanted, Dead or Alive, and The Rifleman, and Tales of West Fargo. These half-hour shows to get them into the mindset of Bounty Law. The kind of show Rick was on, I liked them before, but I got really into them. The concept of telling a dramatic story in a half hour, you watch and you think, wow, there's a hell of a lot of story going on in 22 minutes. I thought, I wonder if I could do that. Anyway, end quote. By the way, that was not intended for me to be trying to be making a Tarantino. I know that was terrible. I know for a Tarantino, that was terrible. But it came out that way. I was just going to read it, but it came out that way. I don't know. The guy has a funny voice. And I'm not great with voices, but whatever. Point here is, he's very specifically saying, it's not going to be about the characters in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's going to be about the job the character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood had previous to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, there's no news on, well, the thing that everybody cares about, will DiCaprio be a part of this? Will it? I don't know. It's very difficult. I don't think DiCaprio has gone back to TV since he became a movie star. I'm assuming he would think it's a step back. However, it is Tarantino. They've worked together before. He's been very successful working with Tarantino. So maybe he'll come back. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe sometimes. Well, it's also possible that he may be too old to play the role. I don't know. I mean, there's CGI and stuff, so I guess they could do that. However, it's the thing about, one, is he interested? Two, will they get enough money for him? I don't know. It's interesting. It's also equally interesting to be like, will Brad Pitt return for it? Because it would be him playing a stunt double. I don't think Brad Pitt would be into that, but you never know. Honestly, you never know with these actors, especially because they're friends. Brad Pitt's worked with Tarantino before. They've been successful. Brad Pitt just won his first Golden Globe because of his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, though this time he actually wouldn't be in front of the camera. I don't know. It's all very fussy. It's complicated, especially when you deal with actors. It's really hard, especially when it's massive A-listers. But you never know. You never know. There's an advantage of being Quentin Tarantino is that it comes with a certain amount of earned respect. So you never know. You never know. The thing here is they don't say anything about, well, where it will be aired. It doesn't say who's going to be producing it, what's going to be distributing. There's nothing. We don't know if it's going to go to Netflix. We don't know if it's going to go to Hulu. We don't know if it's going to go on air. We don't know if it's going to be HBO. We don't know. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. And also, we don't know what the story is going to be. So supposedly, Tarantino already wrote them, and he wrote them while he was kind of thinking of, well, his mindset was in this world. But we don't know enough, and this is something very important. Westerns are hard for this time period. For the time, it's a reason why they were the most successful shows of their time, and it's because they were great. However, the way that effects are now, the way that storytelling works now, sometimes they don't fit the formula for modern audiences. So even though it might be a great show, we don't really know if it'll be successful. There's a lot of questions there. Also, will he do it? My big question here is, will he do a Western kind of like Deadwood, like a modern, will he do a modern take on it, like an actual modern Western, or will he do an old-timey Western and stick to that style? I don't know. And Tarantino is an unpredictable person. But if he just sticks to his spaghetti Western style, that would be cool too. That would be closer to the modern one. So, I don't know. Point is, I'm excited. And that was the big news for today. A friend of mine actually sent me the link. Thank you, Otto. I appreciate it. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This will be great. I love Westerns. I love fucking Westerns. So, I'm really excited for this. Could be really good. It's also a loophole for Tarantino, because Tarantino always said that he only wants to make 10 movies, so this is a loophole for him, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's it for today. Gotta get out of here. Please remember to check out my Dario the Bachelor video on my Instagram at Dario the Show. Any comments, questions, or suggestions, you can find me there, or at SuperDario_World. As always, thank you for listening, and I'll see you again on Monday.